We are back for episode 26 of Out of the Box podcast, our second episode since we renamed it. It has been a good week, plenty done. So I'm going to start off with, we signed with an ad agency. This kind of goes against the grain of my belief that everything should be in-house, but we need to ramp up ad output and we couldn't do it in a way without onboarding tons of team members and then straining my time. The best way to do it was to bring in an agency that got us the output, but also has like skills and doesn't constrain my time. So I think they can bring a lot of insight from what they see working on their ad accounts and stuff like that. We basically went out in November time last year looking for an agency partner because we knew this was on the horizon. I spoke to a few and we decided on one agency, and then they decided they didn't want to onboard us, which I've never had before from an agency. Normally they're all cash grabbers. So I have a lot of respect for them for turning us down, but it was frustrating. There was a few other agencies in the pipeline, one or two I didn't get the good vibes off. One was interesting, but then they weren't replying. So then that kind of got pushed to the side. And so we started looking again in January time. I was texting a few people for recommendations and I got recommended one. And I just jumped on a call. It was the most leisurely call you could possibly have. It kind of gave me some comfort because they were asking the right questions. Maybe a day or so later, I jumped on another call with an agency that was really well respected on paper and has some big clients. Essentially, I just got like a closer on the call, not someone who's like actually involved in the business. They were asking all the wrong questions. Like they weren't asking what the business was doing, what our CPA was, who we were targeting, where our funnel was. They didn't ask to jump into the ad account. They were just like, oh yeah, you pay us X amount of money and this is what you get. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. It's interesting. This is my common complaint about agencies, is that they're not actually interested in success for you. They're only interested in success for them. So we brought this agency on and it's pay to play essentially. Like they only win if we win. The way money ramps up is if we scale, their payment scales. It's mutually beneficial as well, which I really, really like. We also got a new supplier on board. We got accepted by Macron. So that means 2 new suppliers already this year. Macron is somebody we've been trying to get working with for a long time. We have really pushed for it in the last couple of months after my friend Henry, who owns Korean, his team's made by Macron. He was like, get my shirts in your boxes. So then we had to start speaking to Macron. They're hard to work with really, but we've now got a form accepted with them. Going to push for trying to get a meeting out in Italy to speak to them, because I think that face-to-face, like I've touched on before, is so important. So I've got that on the horizon, but it's good. We keep adding more and more brands. I think that just improves our offering to customers. Like customers don't see that on the front end, but they receive it on the back end. So it should help our product in the long run. On Monday as well, I flipped something up this week. I brought back my dedicated learning time. So I think I touched on this really early in our series, and I said, I'm changing the mindset in this company from do to learn. And so we brought in the book club, which we still execute to this day. And then I brought in dedicated learning time. Now I think this thing has kind of fallen off, and it's probably my fault because we haven't been doing it. Like the stuff we've been learning hasn't been great, and then people are under time pressure. So it was the easiest thing that got moved. And because it's not peer evaluated like a book club, it's really go at your own leisure. So this week, independently, I decided I need to start learning more because I felt like my tools, they weren't getting as sharp as they used to be. And for me, learning is going through Twitter, it's going through LinkedIn, it's going through other companies' websites, it's going through people's ad libraries, it's just picking up wee things. It's watching like a podcast, YouTube videos. I think podcasts are really good for like learning the little insights. So I did a couple of those. My favorite one I really liked was Scalability School, and something I picked out of that was about web pages. We're trying to put in a system now that we've got Alex on board helping me with the website and with media buying, that we can continuously test things on the website like we do on ads. Previously we used to have a CRO agency and they were good, but they didn't have that like commercial mind thinking. They were just, let's test this idea, but the idea wasn't built into the bigger picture. Now that we've got the bigger picture, we've been trying to figure out the system and we've been playing about with it for a good while. And testing website changes is very hard. So you can either test it in ad account by like putting a new URL live and then running ads to that new URL and seeing what the CPA is in it. Or you could build an A/B test so that when traffic lands on the website from the ad account, it's split between A and B, 50-50. The problem with this is that you're affecting all your traffic, while the previous method I mentioned where you test an ad account, you're only testing new traffic. However, the likelihood is as you start that test, you're really only testing bottom of funnel before you have to start working up a funnel. So it's two ways to do it, and it's really hard with all those tech tools out there. Like you got IntelliGems and you got Shoplift and you got like A/B test and conversion, all these testing tools that you can like split traffic on. Then you've got Replo, you've got PageDeck, you have Instant, you have all these pages that can help you build a website. Then they also do A/B testing. They're all very complicated and they're all at different ends of the spectrum. So it was basically we're wading through all this information. It was information overload to try and figure out which combination works best for us. And I think we've landed on one. We're hoping to basically test it and see, does the system work for us? And if the system works for us, we'll be spinning up new changes every week to the website. And I'm really excited for where that could go, because I think that is where our next growth opportunity comes from, better educating the customer on the website and then converting them out of it. I'm also recording this podcast in our new office. So this week we have finally, I would say, got the first usable version of our boardroom. So we've been talking about this idea for a while of building like a meeting room, boardroom. This week we got the desk in, as you can see, the fancy chairs, we got the new carpet in. It's really a great room. And so we've got to do a few more things, like we need to add back benches and paint the walls, but it's good already. Like I'm having a few meetings in here. We had our Turkish people over this week and that was really good. So this is a bit somewhere formal where we can sit down and speak to them. And the Turkish lads, we had them speak to us. We went through the whole operation with them across 4 days. They met every single team member and they kept getting astounded by how bought in our team was and how intelligent they were, which I'm really proud of and is a testament to how good our team is, like how much they are willing to work and believe in our vision. So the Turkish fellas are going to build out Shirt in a Box Turkey. So it's going to be a dual partnership between us. They will be doing basically everything we teach them in terms of e-commerce. So what systems they need to have, what creatives they need to make, but they'll be able to localize it for their area and they'll be able to fulfill, and they've already got the knowledge because they help supply us of how to like buy and sell football jerseys. So for them, they're really hyped up. I'm going to go for dinner with them afterwards. They're really psyched about like the opportunity ahead of them and they see that. So that's really exciting. Ross also started. He's our new salesman. So he's placing the claw machines, which I've mentioned 100 times before. He's already got 3 meetings lined up for next week, which is really exciting. Some great venues, and he's only a week into it. We've got the first 2 are already placed and they're going out. So it's really exciting times. I'm debating, I think I mentioned this last week, do we like full run it for America? But I think time might be against us, unfortunately. But I'm excited for it. I think this is the future, you know, hiring more staff, getting talented people in, and then just adding on more components to the business and adding revenue as we grow them. We're weighing up a few different business cases and I think I'll touch on them next week because I've gone through a lot already. And I've also noticed a lot of competitors have been copying us. So I don't know if this is to our detriment, but I've already seen 2 ads from different brands that are copies of ours, and I've seen one website that is a pure rip of us, and it's also from someone who's a really big competitor. It's a compliment, but it's also offensive at the same time. Like, just do your own shit, guys. You can't copy the way we think. You can just copy what we do, which isn't cool. But I hope that was useful. There's plenty of insight in there. I'm trying to give everyone my best knowledge as possible. I'll check in next week when hopefully there's a few more things being accomplished. Thanks for watching.